you beautiful people, and welcome back to The Rubber Room, the show where we talk about all things sexy, shiny, and sinful. My name is Cable, and I put the D in ADHD.
My name is Romeo, and I love rubber. And that's as much as I got today. Sorry.
Very on the nose,
You
but
caught me off
we
guard.
love it. Before we kick off today, this season we are supporting local Manchester businesses, and today's episode sponsor is Stretch Latex. Stretch Latex is an upcoming Manchester-based brand aiming to make rubber more accessible. Getting a full suit is expensive, and sometimes you want to test the water first and see if it's right for you. Stretch Latex has a great range of accessories, harness, jocks, and more to get you started on your kink journey. Not only do they offer a range of exciting and daring designs for those feeling braver, Stretch Latex prides themselves on being open to your ideas to get those creative juices flowing. All products are hand-cut, glued, and shined in Manchester, offering custom sizing and free UK tracked delivery on all orders. Give them a follow on Instagram at Stretch Latex to stay up to date with all the new lines and offers. Plus, use code RUBBERROOM to get 15% off your next order. A word of warning. Throughout this season, we'll be talking about a variety of different kinks. Some are safer than others. As always with kink, make sure to stay safe, get consent, but most importantly, have fun. We're back here in the Eagle Bar, Manchester, which is an integral part of the kink scene here in Manchester, and a huge thank you to them for letting us host season 2 here once again.
But before we start, it's time for Know Your Code! This season, we're educating the people on the hanky code and its importance in the kink community. Today's colour is blue. With blue, any hole is a goal. If you prefer your packages delivered in the rear, then dark blue is the colour for you. But if you prefer some FaceTime, then light blue might be your colour instead. And that's it for Know Your Code! Now back to our regularly scheduled programming.
The Rubber Room is first and foremost a community space, and because of that, this season we wanted to invite some of our favourite kinky advocates onto the show so they can talk about their love for kink. This episode, we're kicking off with what I would say is one of mine and Romeo's biggest inspirations around rubber and kink. I'd love to introduce you all to Jrubbercub.
Hi.
Please introduce yourself to our audience for those who don't know you already.
Yeah, I'm James Jrubbercub. I mean, you probably do know who I am because I don't fuck off. I'm just all about a rubber life, really. I'm a bit boring in that sense.
There's nothing
but
boring
rubber
about
rubber is life.
Rubber is life.
Yeah, that's kind of my top line.
I mean, it's a great lead into my next question, which is, James, what are your top 3 kinks and why? Or maybe it's just the one. I don't know.
I was gonna say rubber, full rubber, heavy rubber because why not? But I will be a bit more general. I don't think of myself as particularly like a kinkster. I think of myself as a fetishist.
Okay.
So like my top 3 would be rubber, bike leathers, like wetsuits and dry suits. I love them together.
Can
But
you
they're all
explain
fetishes rather than kinks in my mind.
Can you explain the difference between what you see a kinkster and a fetishist being? Because I think it's an important distinction.
So this is purely my take, could be wrong. I always think of a fetishist as, or fetish, I suppose. A fetish is the thing that you're a lot of the time wearing. It's like something you can't do without, I suppose. And then the kink is the thing you do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I sort of think of fetishes are, your leather, rubber, neoprene, spandex, skin gear, scally gear, whatever. And then you can do all of your kinks within that. Fisting, water sports, whatever it is. So that's kind of how I compartmentalize it in my brain, but that doesn't necessarily mean everybody does.
I think it's a great way of
It's a good way. The way I think of it sometimes is a fetish is something you sort of need. A fetish is the thing, and a kink is an accessory to the thing. Yeah. Something that's fun and you enjoy, but isn't. You can do without a kink. You can't do without a fetish.
Completely. Like the fetish, like rubber for me is like as intrinsic to my sexuality as being gay is.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to have sex without rubber.
Why would you?
Yeah. Like it's not interesting to me at all.
And on that point, what is it about rubber that you specifically love? Like, what kind of got you into it in the first place, and has sort of been your fantasy about it?
I've been trying to answer that question in my own brain for way too long. I just remember the first time I ever saw it, I was like, wow, that's the thing. Like, I remember when I was younger, I was like obsessed with seeing like divers on TV. Couldn't really understand why, because you don't really have that understanding when you're a kid. And then, thanks to the internet in my early teens, I found like latex and rubber stuff, and I was like, oh shit, that's the thing. So, and that was around the same sort of time I was sort of even realizing what sex kind of was. So, my sex life has always been that. And I don't know why. It's the smell, the sound, the taste of it, as in like when you lick it, not when you eat it. Don't do that. But like every sense is like encapsulated by it for me. Like it's just, I don't know, like nothing is hornier to me than like that moment when somebody takes off a hood and they're all sweaty.
Yeah.
And the rubber is so intrinsic to that. And it's like all these little things that are like,
I think I completely agree. I think rubber's one of the kinks that spans across multiple areas, whereas like you have things like bondage or breath play or things like that where they touch on a specific sense, but I think rubber, I agree, it's about the look, but also the sound, it's about the feel, it's the smell, like it kind of encompasses all those areas, so I do understand that.
Yeah, and I agree with you on that sense of sort of like, I discovered my sexuality through, it wasn't rubber at the start, it was Spider-Man 3, I've said this a million times, but it started as spandex, but that's what I was going to, I was looking at the material, and then it was, oh, it's men wearing that material, does that mean I'm gay? Like, I was more into that first than I was into the dudes.
See, I never had the superhero thing. Like, I feel like everyone had, like, the superhero
Spider-Man
awakening.
is so kinky.
And it wasn't for me. Like, at all. It would, like, I don't know whether it was just that superheroes weren't a big influence, I guess, when I was younger.
Do you not like the X-Men leathers?
Yeah. But I think I was already, like, fascinated by seeing people in wetsuits at that point. I remember, like, when I was younger, there's, potentially a deep cut, I don't know. The Tomb Raider 2 movie, there's a scene right at the beginning when Angelina Jolie's wearing this like silver wetsuit, and then there's a couple of like people around her that are all wearing wetsuits, and I remember thinking that was the horniest thing in the world. Now I look at it and like it kind of had nothing to do with Angelina, no matter how beautiful she is. Yeah. It was the thing that she was wearing, and then obviously the guys around.
I've always, because that's the picture they use on the front cover of the DVD as well. Yep. And my dad had it, and when we were growing up, and I'd always look at it and be like, I know I'm not gay, but my God, like I'm not straight. Sorry, no, I'm not straight, but my God, she looks stunning, and I think it's the same reason. It's what she was wearing more than anything.
The other sort of pop culture thing.
7 of 9 from Star Trek Voyager. She used to wear like a catsuit. It was just like spandex. Jerry Ryan, beautiful woman, and she was like Borg, so that's also droney stuff. But she just wear this catsuit, and it was so form fitting. And there was a silvery one. I was like, I know I don't like what's underneath that, but what's on top of that is great.
The other one that I always say, like pop culture thing that I always joke about from my childhood, and it could genuinely be real, I don't know. In Spice World, the movie, Richard O'Brien, who I can't say I fancy him, comes out of the toilet in a dry suit and pulls the dry suit hood down. And I was thinking about it the other week, and I was like, I fucking love it when somebody pulls a hood off. I'm like, is it linked? Like, I don't know, maybe it is. Maybe Richard O'Brien's my sexual awakening.
You see, he's coming up out of a toilet. I used to watch that film. I had an older sister in the 90s. You can't escape that film. And he pulls it off, and he's in a toilet, so it's really echoey, and it's that kind of thocking as it comes off. Yeah,
the sound grading on that clip. So you might be the kinky person that made it. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's thank you, Richard O'Brien. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
well, we've a lot to thank Richard O'Brien for. I think.
I did not think we'd be saying that on the podcast. We love it. Awesome. In terms of the other kinks you mentioned as well, is it a similar sort of love in terms of like wetsuits and that kind of gear as well? Because obviously it's not as per se shiny in a sense. I guess when it's wet, obviously it is.
So like I feel like wetsuits were like my gateway drug, and now they don't do as much for me. They're like an aesthetically pleasing thing. Like I love it. Like one of my friends has a house in Cornwall. We sometimes go down there. It's right on the beach, and watching all the surfers and stuff is just lovely. But it's like I like playing. I think with the practicalities of playing in gear and stuff, wetsuits I just don't find super practical to play in anymore. Yeah. So they're just not. I don't know. They don't do the same thing for me anymore. And similar thing with bike leathers. Like I think bikers are a huge attraction for me. Love them. Ridden pillion a few times. Super, super, super horny. But like, just playing in bike leathers probably isn't enough for me. It would be like full rubber under bike leathers is the hottest thing anyone can wear. Period.
Noted. I'll wear that next time.
But like it's, I don't know, rubber's kind of just sort of taken over as a whole, but then it's sort of like worked out what I like within rubber. So there's like, for me now, a singlet isn't enough. Like I'm not going to hook up with you if you've just got a singlet. No offense, you're wearing one.
I haven't said this on camera yet, but I'm really worried about the lack of wardrobe options as this series goes on. So I'm having to mix and match outfits, and there's a reason I bought separate parts so that you can mix and match.
Yeah,
because I do like being out on the scene and not just wearing a catsuit. I like having like Manchester Rugby Weekend. I like to have that's 4 days. I like to have maybe 6 outfits because it's my drag, my peacocking.
Yeah.
So that's what I like it for. And there's gear that I'd wear out that I wouldn't wear for play. Definitely. That it is more of an aesthetic thing.
See, I've realised now that, like, if something like Manchester Rugby Weekend, like, I've been going to Manchester Rugby Weekend since the 4th one. I mean, what year is it? Which one is it?
Like 17, 18?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just aging myself slightly. But, like, I've realised over all those years that, like, every time I would go out in something that wasn't a full suit, I would spend the entire night wishing I'd worn one. So I just wear that now. Or at least something that looks full coverage enough. Because I don't want somebody that's like me that only plays in full coverage to look at me and go, oh, he's not that serious about it. So it's like, I don't know, it's like put out what you attract, I suppose.
I get that. I wouldn't wear this out, personally.
Yeah.
And I've got rubber briefs and rubber jocks because you can stealth that under your work clothes. So that's why I've got that kind of gear. When I am out, my legs are always covered. I don't wear shorts out. Because I don't wear shorts, period. As a rule, I think you wear a trouser or you wear a skirt. You don't wear a short. That's just how I dress. So I'd wear leggings or a full suit, or I've got like some rubber jeans on the way, and I might have my arms out, but not normally this much arm because I'm quite a prude, which is an odd thing to say as a Kingston. So I do agree with you on that side of things. I do want to be as rubbered as possible because that's what it's about.
It's like that's sort of where I settle, which is why we started full cover. It's like I think there is like a bit of, now that rubber's got so big, there is a bit of a split in the scene, I think, of guys that wear the rubber because they love the aesthetic, and sure, they like the feeling of it and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're just as happy in a jock as they are in a full suit. Like, it's very much all that. But then there is an entire section of the rubber scene that is probably a bit more old school, but where it's like, it's full coverage is the only option. Layers, heavy industrial kit. Like, that's the option. And I felt like for the longest time, there's not been a space for that.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of fetish events in general have got really general. Like, the dress codes are like, you do you, boo. Like, as long as it's kinky to you.
Well, it's hard as well, because like, people have been feeling the pinch. People can't go to every event, so they become a jack of all trades kind of thing, which is good, but also... And
for the venues as well. Like, I fully understand it from the venue's point of view, because obviously they're businesses. They need to make money, and it's incredibly hard for bars and pubs to make money these days. Like, people are drinking less, people are going out less because of the cost of living. Like, all of that stuff. So it's like, they need to get as many people in the door. And if that's opening dress codes up a little bit, then so be it. And it's why we're really grateful that company let us do the event there, because it's really small, and people were like, oh, it's too small for an event. And we were like, it's not though, because we don't want it to be this big popular, like the hottest event to go to in rubber. It's like, it's for a specific...
If you know, you know.
Yeah, if you know, you know, and it's for a specific sort of part of the crowd. Like, everyone's welcome if you're doing the dress code, right? Like, everyone's welcome, of course.
And just for our audience who might not know what full cover is, do you want to kind of explain, like, what it is and why you set it up?
Of course. Yeah, so it's a night that I started with my best mate. Oh, God, what's his handle and everything? It's either Gummy Gimp or Rubber Gimp.
I'm pretty sure it's Rubber Gimp. No, Gummy
I think
Gimp.
it's... Look for both, you'll find him eventually.
I think it's Rubber Gimp.
Go to Jrubbercub, and then it'll be in the
picture. You'll find him on there. But we have the same sort of approach to rubber, basically. And we just felt like there wasn't anything that catered to us. Like, I think that we'll go to the sort of wider sort of spectrum events, but I'm spending all this time getting on all this geesh, if you will. It's not the same as somebody that's just put on, like, a fabric jock strap and a harness. You know, they're not the same thing. And it's like, we wanted a space where we could go to that celebrated that side of rubber kink. And also would encourage some of the guys that don't go out in the scene anymore because they don't see that represented anymore to come back out again. Like, that's kind of the crowd that we really wanted to appeal to. And also a space where, like, there's no photographer. It's like the photography that we use on the Instagram is all I've taken it, and it doesn't really identify anybody. And that's really by design. It's not about going to be seen. We don't want content creators making content to come and shit like that. Like, it's just about going out for the joy of the kit and to be around people that also have the joy of the kit and have a little play. And meet somebody to go and have a proper session with another time, like that kind of thing. That we wanted it to be that kind of like safe space for that. And I mean, 2 Down. I mean, I don't know when this is airing, but the next one is on the 6th of March, so it's like it might be 3 Down by the time this airs, I suppose. And it's doing well. It's like a nice crowd. It's like a lot of the same people coming each time, but there's always new people coming. International guys are coming over for it. So yeah, we're really.
Yeah, well, I went to the second one. I don't live in Manchester, so I get over when I can, and usually it's for this. So when these line up, it's great. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I know what you mean, because it was nice. Everyone was just, the dress code is full coverage, but everyone was wearing black. You can wear colours, but people were just wearing black. Yeah. It was just really fun to be part of that crowd. I've said it on a different pod, it'll either be before or after this. And I really like that. And then I think it does give space for people who are then into the more colourful, skimpier stuff. Like, there's no reason they couldn't do an event like that. They can find their space.
Absolutely.
Like, everyone goes to the Rubber Weekend because that's what it's for, but then why not create your own offshoot for the people into this specific part of it?
Yeah. I've had so many messages, people being like, "Oh wow, it's so cool that you've set up full cover," like blah blah blah. And I'm like, it's. I don't want to diminish people in the work we do to like create these events, but it's not that difficult. Like, reach out to a venue that you know and respect, and if they have space, they will try and accommodate. Like somewhere like the Eagle, I mean, they've got a jam-packed roster of like super successful events, so it's way harder to find space here. But like Company, I mean, used to be very fetish heavy, and it's kind of like got away from that a bit over time. So they were super happy to bring in a fetish party. Yeah. And start small, something that you really want to see but doesn't exist, and just speak to them. It doesn't have to be super superficial. Like, just, I don't know, see how it goes. I think so many people want to go out the gates with the big thing.
That's how Manchester Rubber Weekend started, isn't it?
Yeah. It was just a group of mates going out.
And having a wander around a few bars.
Yeah. And the good thing is, it's like, if you got the idea, they've got the expertise, because most of these bars have been around for ages now, and they know how to set up an event. They obviously there to support you. Like, it's the same with the event that I run here at the Eagle. So I think that's what I also was going to say as well, is I quite like, is it's almost like the two ends of the spectrum with our events, because my event that I run here at the Eagle Locked is ultimately an entryway into kink for a lot of people. Like, you come along because you may not have all the gear, or it's your first event, or like you're feeling a bit nervous. So we're very much about the social aspect and introducing people to that space. But I kind of see your event being more, okay, if you know what you like and you appreciate the full extent, like we're in today, like, that's the event for you, and that's good. But it's giving people that space to decide, obviously, where they feel they fit in, and as you said, it's bringing people back into the community, which I think is a wonderful thing too, is being able to re-invite them into the village here in Manchester.
Well, I think there is I think there's a lot of I mean, God, I've been going out on the scene since I was 18. I'm 35 now.
You don't have to age yourself.
Do that about 15 years? Is that? Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
know.
35.
Maths is hard. But over that time, the scene has changed. Like, it's unrecognizable from what it was. And social media is just a huge part. There's talc all over my glove. I apologize, camera. It's changed. It's unrecognizable. And social media is a huge part of that. And a lot of the guys that I would see when I started going out don't go out anymore. And there's a whole load of reasons. As you get older, you can't be asked to go out as much and things like that. But they're still there. They still enjoy the kit, and obviously still want to meet new people and things like that. And I think the scene has got super focused on all the young pretty boys of the scene,
and
if
the
you
gram.
will, and doing it for the gram. And now people are like trying to make like content creator careers doing shitty TikTok dances, and it's like, the scene is changing. It might not be my thing, but you do you, boo. Like, but it's like, it's changing, and I don't want those guys to feel like they don't have a space anymore.
Yeah.
And it's, come sit with me, I'll sit with you, kind of thing. So that's kind of what we're hoping it is, and it seems to be going that way.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I also attended, and I can see how much it means to those people to have that space, and I'm just very excited to continue going in the future as well. So.
Awesome.
I know what you mean with the like TikTokification of stuff and TikTok dances. That's not really my vibe. I couldn't do that.
You're not there, just like...
Absolutely not. God forbid. Nah, I've got to. I think too highly of myself, but that's not fair. I just it's not really my vibe at all, and I do feel like Instagram is where I've met most of my rubber mates. It's where we were talking before we met in the Eagle one time. It's where I met a lot of people. And Instagram is, I think, doing all right at not being too... It's getting the reels and stuff for different things. But I think it's all right at maintaining a decent meeting place to then branch out. I met people at MRM that I'd been speaking to on Instagram. Not on Recon or not on Grindr or anything. It was on Instagram. And it is that social side of it that I really liked. But there is a bit, sometimes it does look like people are just trying to commodify it.
Well, and that's
and they're trying to sell themselves rather than just, being themselves.
And from a professional point of view, like, so my day job, I work in content and influencer marketing, right? So it's a scene I understand very, very well. And something that I always find funny when you see these guys being like, trying to make content in rubber all the time is it's like, cool, you might get 100,000 followers eventually. Great. You're not going to get brands, like proper brands, to sponsor you because you're not doing something mainstream enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to end up taking up so much of your time for very little financial gain. Like, so what's the point? Like, channel your energy into something more useful? I don't know.
I think that, the purpose behind it is really important. Like, I like to use socials mainly, as you said, to like meet people. And obviously as it grows with that, that's amazing because you can reach more people. And I've had some amazing people that can have connected with me and we've met up when I've gone abroad and things like that because of the fact that you have a social following that's growing.
And it is nice to have a platform.
Yeah. But I think if you're doing it for the wrong reasons for the likes, for the gram, to then, obviously, as you said, unfortunately, I don't think kink's ever going to be mainstream, but I actually quite like that. It's our community. Exactly. Yeah, like I want it to be more accepted, but I also am not expecting everybody to go out the door in rubber. Like, obviously, then it would feel inauthentic. Like, I want us to be the ones that, obviously, we love rubber and it's our community, so I don't want people wearing it for the sake of it. Yeah. I just would like a world where it's less judged in a sense. Like, I don't have to hide that side of myself, which is ultimately what this podcast is for. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's like we got a comment on the real TikTok where I was talking about drinking that gentleman's piss in Berlin. And he goes, he drank what?
Yeah.
But we just had a conversation about it. Like, he wasn't really having a go. He was just like, what the fuck's this? It was like, this is what it is. I was like, oh, okay, bye.
Yeah.
It's also like water sports is like one of like
fairly tame.
It's also a really popular kink amongst straight people.
Yeah.
So it's like, how sheltered is your little life if you've never heard of that? Like,
I do. You wonder about some people, and I often have to have this conversation with my mother quite a lot because she's very worried.
She into piss?
No, she's very straight laced, and she's why I'm as repressed as I am in the very few areas I am repressed. She's a great woman, but Christ, she doesn't understand this, and I say you don't have to understand it. Yeah. But she gets herself in a worried fret about it because she thinks I'm out here whoring myself. And it's like, Mum, I'm not. I could if I wanted to, and it'd be all right. Don't worry, I'd make some money. But that's not what this is. It's sexual but not sexy all the time, and it's a sexy but not sexual rather.
Yeah.
And it's a complicated line to walk for people. Fetish confuses and frightens. It doesn't need to. Yeah. And if you don't understand it, you just need to not understand it. That's fine too. You can back away.
Yeah.
Also, ignorance is bliss sometimes. Like, I feel like there's such a massive thing about, like, sometimes, or maybe not as much anymore, but there was a few years ago. People were like, feeling like they had to come out as fetishists in their everyday life, and it's like, you really don't.
No.
Like, your family don't need to know what you get up to in the bedroom. Like,
it's not
you
their
do,
business.
if you want to do it, great, but you don't need to. And I feel like there was for a time, like, a lot of pressure on people to, like, have to, like, put on their Facebook for their nan and their aunt to see that they're into rubber.
Like, I'd never put
really
it on Facebook.
Don't. Like, back in the early days of social media, I had one account that was all of my shit. Like, it was before people were that savvy, I guess, about having different things. And I eventually decided to split them because I was like, the girls I went to primary school with don't need to know what I'm doing at the weekend, really. Yeah. Like, and there's more to me than just being kinky. So it's like, I split them off, and I have Jrubbercub, and then I have my normal one, like fashion and books, that's all I talk about. So it's like, having that separation is super healthy, I think. And it's like, my family know about my kinks, but mostly just because of, like, back in the day, I used to get tagged in things that I didn't really want to be tagged in and things like that. And it was like, they saw it all through that. So they're aware of it. I don't talk to them about it. I will say I'm going to Berlin and be like, oh, it's just a big fetch thing. Yeah. And that's like as much as we talk about it. And my family are super open-minded. Like, they're not judgy, but they don't need to know.
I will want to talk to my mum about my sex life, full stop. None of her business. The reason my mum knows I'm kinky is because I was having a bit of a mental health crisis. and she was asking me all these questions, and I was like, well, I don't want to keep lying to you.
Yeah.
So if you keep asking these questions, like why are you going to Manchester every other weekend, you're gonna get answers. And like you said, ignorance is bliss. I said to my sister, Mum's just asked me questions, and I've ended up telling her that I'm doing this podcast, and she thinks I'm gonna, die. And she said, I wish she'd just stop asking you. And I'm like, I know, but I'm not gonna lie to her. Because I can't lie to my mother. If she keeps pressing me, I'll tell her the truth. Yeah. So she's then had to go to her and say, you've got to stop asking him these questions. It's his life. It's not going to make you any happier knowing the answers to these questions. You just got to trust him.
It's something you just don't need to know, I think.
This is a tricky topic, but I think on that point as well, my next question to you is going to be, in the kink community, what is one thing you wish was spoken about more?
I don't know if it's something that I want people to talk about more, but I want people to understand more. Is that you can the whole melee around cruising and consent, and that's a difficult conversation. Let's not have it now because it's not. But like, I wish people understood. I took the time to understand that more, because cruising is a super important part of gay culture, and it still has a very valid place. But you can do it without crossing people's boundaries.
Yeah, it's the same with all kinks, isn't it? Is that a lot of these, as we say on this podcast all the time, some of these kinks are more dangerous than others, but the line will always be the consent and the communication.
The number one rule.
Yeah, so you can do all of these things that are a bit more risque or a bit out there, but as long as you're doing it within a space where there's limits and rules that you've agreed.
I think most of that, though, just falls along, like, social norms. It's like, if you're sometimes when someone will approach me when it's a rubber night, and they'll touch me on the shoulder, because that's how you might say, oh, you look great. That's fine. But touching someone else is not fine. Unless you said, can I grab your ass?
Also, though, I think intent is also everything, right? Yeah. If you're... I've seen this happen at events. Like, somebody stood at the bar, somebody sort of goes, oh, sorry, I need to get past you. Wearing rubber, it sticks. The person at the bar has been like, oh my God, I was sexually assaulted. No, you weren't. Somebody just pushed past you in the bar. It's like, they're not the same. And I think people that conflate the two are doing more damage than good. I think, as somebody that's been sexually assaulted properly when I was younger, and I've talked about it in previous forums, but it's like, it's a very serious thing when it happens.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be taken as lightly. I think as well, the fetish scene is about sex at its core. So if you go into those spaces, especially adult spaces, there's alcohol and dark rooms and things, the onus is on everybody to be all about like making sure consent is applicable. It's about like having accountability for yourself as well. I think is super important in that.
Yeah, I think as well, a really important point is like that's why the staff are there. Yeah. That's why we have staff at events that are run, because they're looking out for you. They're not going to have eyes on everyone all the time as well. So please don't be afraid to
that's the same
reach out.
Everywhere, like the pub I work at operates Ask for Angela. If you're in a dangerous, uncomfortable situation, you don't know what to do, you go towards an Ask for Angela and we take you to a safe place and get you sorted. And I think every place operates something like that. And it's intimidating approaching a stranger and saying, help, I feel vulnerable. But, if you put yourself, unfortunately, that's part of the world we live in. You have to ask for the help and it is there. Yeah. But it isn't given unless you say you need it.
The staff and door staff at venues they are trained to respond to those situations, right? Like, I mean, the door staff here at the Eagle, Brian and Martin, obviously the primary ones. If you come to the Eagle, you know them. Like, they're amazing at responding to things like that and hearing your concerns if you have them. So talk to them, even if it's just in letting them know so they can keep an eye and make sure it doesn't happen to anybody else. Like, it then gives the bar a heads up on who that kind of person is. And that is the most important thing, I think, is like making sure it's safe for everybody.
Yeah. I think it can be difficult if you are like coming to an event first time on your own, which is why it's always smart to get a buddy. Yeah. There's people who, especially since this podcast came out, said, oh, can I come to an event with you? They're like, well, I don't go to that many events because I'm shut in with no money. But if I am there, you're welcome to come and say hello and stand in the group. And if you're in a group, there is safety in a group. Yeah. But then this is why locked, you're on the door. And you let everyone who comes in knows that you're there and that you're a safe person who can be contacted. For
that event, we basically walk all of the newbies around at the start of the event so they know what's what, like what to expect when the show's on, where Crochet Corner is, as we call it. So we make sure that everybody's familiar with the setup. We also have a huge banner at the door which has all the rules, especially about consent. So I think that's really important. And as you're setting your event up as well, I think it's really important to obviously shape like what's the vibe going to be, what are the expectations. I know you've got a dark room there as well, so yeah.
And it's like luckily, I mean, with Full Cover, luckily it's such a small, intimate venue and space that if something happened, we're going to hear about it like that, and we'll sort it out like that. So it's like,
and such a good community that I feel like everyone would pick up on it, which is I think.
Also, I think as well, it's like, I don't know, the people that, I mean, obviously there's always unknowns that might come to things, but the people that have been coming are super respectful.
Yeah.
And a super friendly crowd, and I just don't think that shit would happen right now. I mean, maybe somebody will come in the future that's less that. Yeah. But they'll be straight out.
Exactly.
No fucking around with that. But I was going to say, the other thing that I think doesn't help with this whole thing is that, like, the scene is very bar and nightlife centric, right? And I think that's been a massive thing for ages. I mean, you've got people like Real Clear Fetish that are making a really concerted effort to do events that are like daytime based, non-alcohol, like all of that kind of stuff, which is super, super important. And we need more of that, because it's like the nightlife, obviously I'm quite comfortable in nightlife, but there's a lot of people that like are not comfortable in nightlife. And because it's the only place the scene is in real life, they force themselves into these spaces they're not comfortable in. And then that creates other issues, like for themselves personally and for other people. And I think that's such a shame, like, because you don't want to go to a space you're already not comfortable in and then feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I would love to see more people try and develop things that are not in those environments. I'd love to see that.
Well, you see, I'm not a big club fan as a rule, and often it gets to 1 a.m. and I can feel the bass in my head. I just want to run away. It's just too much, and it's not for me. But that's why I always go upstairs where it's quieter and I feel to talk to. Yeah. But and I've noticed I've been meeting more people and getting like on the fringe of some groups. And, like, a lot of kinky people are in the friend group, and they'll just like have a board game night once a week. And because they're just people too, they won't necessarily gear up for it, but there's no reason that couldn't be a thing, like a kinky ball games at some point where you're just wearing your gear. The problem that I found is it's because then you do it with your friends, so then you have to be in that friend group to get an invite to something like that. Yeah. So it's hard, but that's just the same with anything. You've got to break in, which is a hard thing to do, and it takes work, and finding the right people. So events like that would be a real boon for that kind of thing. Because, like, the amount of work, like, kinky D&D writes itself. You know? That's not a hard thing to establish, is it?
I don't have a clue about Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, I really want to do a D&D session now, but it's purely just like full-on Darkroom Dungeon style.
Yeah. Well, I've been tinkering...
And fairy dragons.
Yeah. Well, I've been tinkering with the board game that I'd like to do. I've got a couple in my head that I do it for once. I do once a month. I'll have an idea. I'll stick with it for 3 days and then I drop it.
Yeah.
So my phone is filled with random stuff. But I've got the kinky board games. Well, pay me.
Well, that's the thing as well, isn't it? It's like people are always going, "Oh, I want an event that does this. I want an event that does
do it.
Start it."
Yeah.
You just have to go and do it. Like, because also, like, you can't expect the same few people to do everything. Like, I think people expect now, like in Manchester Rubbermen or Rubber. What is their official name now? Manchester Rubber. Yeah, I think it's just Manchester Rubber. Oh, they dropped the men, didn't they?
Yeah. It's Manchester Rubber Weekend now. I don't know.
It's MRW, not MRM, but I still call it MRM.
And then I think their tag is Manc Rubber now. So. Yeah.
Manchester Rubber.
We'll
people expect them to organise everything. Like they are some sort of controller of the scene. And that's not their job. Their job is to facilitate the scene. So they'll promote things like Full Cover, they'll promote the podcast, they're there to sort of connect people. They're not some conglomerate that's there to organise every event. And I'm not going to speak for them because I'm not part of the core team, but I would imagine they would love it if other people took the burden of organising some shit.
Because it's like, 1 year I'm going to end up being on the committee to organise Rebel Weekend because it's bound to happen at this point.
I've been there in London, I've done that, I don't need to know. But it's like, you go out and do something. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be small. As long as it's welcoming, like, for people. Like, I think that's the problem is that people always do, like, their pre-drinks or whatever to events, and it's like, then they, like, put it all over social media, so it feels like something people are missing out on, as opposed to, actually, it's just a group of pals, like, having a drink. And then that leads to people feeling like they've been excluded, and the whole clique shit, and all that, like, and it's like, it's...
The way I get away from that is, I nap through the pre-drink time so that I don't see the socials. So I'll wake up at 9:10, I'll go out, I'll grab some breakfast, I'll go to Waterstones because it's my favourite place to be. And then I'll go to sleep 2 till 6. Then I'll wake up and see people start, it's time to go out. And that way I skip. But that's how I handle FOMO, which is a nightmare. And it can be really hard when you do feel like you're on the outside and you see people already go, well, why? I know them. Why didn't they invite me? Because the house is only so big and it can only fit so many people, you know? It's not an exclusionary thing. It just didn't happen. And I think that could be a really hard thing to...
I mean, I've always been one of those people that's like slightly on the side of there's no such thing as cliques. It's just friendship groups you wish you were in.
Yeah.
Which is...
Hot take, I love it.
I know. And I know I'm probably going to get dragged for that in the comments. I don't care.
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's some that are very, like... prescriptive and won't let people in, but I'm sure there's others that are just like, I didn't know you were about.
Literally seen this happen is that like people will go out and somebody will try and talk to them and they kind of like pile them off because they've decided ahead of time they want to be friends with a certain person, and that person is like, I don't know you. And this is the problem with social media as well. Like people decide they know you or understand you before they've even met you.
Yeah.
And it's like I've literally seen people rebuff people that were looking to be friends in favour of people that they want to be friends with. And then those people, I don't know, they're friends, they're not interested, whatever it is, their prerogative. Like, then the other person then goes on social media and slags the whole thing off. And it's like, what? If you're actually out there looking for actual friends, you don't care who they are. Like...
And I think if somebody is vetting you off because they don't want to be friends because they've made an assumption about you, why would you want to be friends with them?
Are they worth the time?
Anyway. Yeah. Like, go and find someone that's actually going to give you the time of day.
Yeah.
So.
Also, I'm a little bit like, nobody owes you anything. Like, there's people that I follow that I think are super hot, or like they seem really like cool on the internet, and I'm like, actually, I feel like that person would be quite cool. And then in social situations, they might give me the time of day. Whatever, that's their loss. I know I'm awesome. Like, whatever, that's you, boo. Like, I've said that's you, boo, too many times.
No, I love it. It's your catchphrase.
It's a bit dated.
It is a bit dated, yeah. Maybe I'm bringing it back. I'm in my boo era.
It's going to be
I think the era thing's also quite dated as well.
I'm 35, alright, I'm old.
Got a new catchphrase for the podcast.
Yeah.
You do.
But it's like, I forgot what I was going to say now. I've booed myself out of
booed
the
yourself out.
process. I don't know, but like, just stop.
If you were to come to an event,
yeah,
you will find someone to talk to if that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for someone to befriend and have a good evening with, you will find that. I mean, there needs to be a confidence on your part and a bit of luck that they're standing at the right place at the right time. But you can find that. I found that.
Yeah.
I've every time I've been to MRM, I've ended up standing MRW. I've ended up standing with different people and finding different people because I just like having a group I can ping pong off. I can go have a wander around, see if anything's happening, and come back and stand there for another half hour and then say, right, I'm going to have a wander. I like having a base camp kind of thing. So it's nice to know people to do that with. But it does just take confidence, which is why it can help to talk to people beforehand. Like, there are people who have spoken to me before an event and said, can we meet? And I said, yeah, sure. I'll be asleep until 6, but I'll be at the event at this time, and then we can meet and have a chat and have a drink for sure. And it's happened and it's worked out. And then I've introduced them to people that I know, and now they're talking, and they don't need me anymore because they're in.
Well, I remember, like, when I started out in the scene all those years ago, like, it was before, obviously, social media was a big thing. Like, Recon was a thing, and, like, people, like, really a thing. People used that, because Grind didn't really exist or any of that. But I used to go to events at the Hoist in London and the Backstreet in London. And I would basically go on my own as, like, a scared, like, 21-year-old. And I would not know anyone, and I would just get really drunk, and then I'd get really sad that no one spoke to me, and all of that. And then kind of like, one day I was like, I'm just sort of creating my own problem here. I'm like, I know I want to be in this space, but I'm not confident enough to be in this space, if that makes sense. So I was like, right, I'm going to sort of like do a little test for myself. And I was like, I'm going to act like I'm hot shit. I'm going to go. And I did. And I was like, a part of that was like talking to people. I realized really quickly people love a compliment.
Yeah.
If you go up to somebody and be like, I love your outfit.
Yeah.
Especially,
like, where did you get it? People are already on the open because they're like, oh my God, I look great.
Yeah, especially
wearing shit
men.
like this. Yeah.
People want to be told they look great because they know.
Everyone wants to be told they look pretty. Like, it's like, and even if that's all you get, and that's the whole conversation, at least you've done it. At least you tried.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, that will open the floodgates to a conversation. And if it doesn't, don't force it, because that's awkward for everybody. But like,
You
I
learn
also
that.
don't interrupt people. That's a massive. Sorry, I just interrupted you. But it's like, but like, I've had that. Like, I've been in social distancing, like chatting with a friend that I've not seen in months, and somebody will just like interject and be like, "Hi," and it's like, "Whoa." Like, let somebody's conversation finish. Catch me when I'm on my way back from the loo, or like I'm going out for a vape, or whatever it is. I don't know. Like, it's pick your moment.
Your basic social norms, and I think some people struggle with that, which is fine.
Yeah.
I think some people just ignore that.
Yeah.
It's like there's still ways to behave. Just because we're dressed like gimps don't mean we're arseholes.
Exactly.
You wait your turn.
Like, and I get it. It's stressful, especially if it's somebody that you like look at on the internet and you like really admire. Then you're like, oh god, I just want to talk to them.
Yeah.
And it's like scary, and you have to build
say?
yourself up. But like, I don't know.
But the best thing with that is practice, because soon you'll be doing it and not even realising it.
Exactly.
You'll
And
just
it
be
becomes
approaching
second
it.
nature.
And as you said, it's just going out, putting out on a bit of more of a confidence.
It
Because I
is,
think
yeah.
sometimes that's
And
all
confidence
it takes.
is an act. They say it's acting
fake it to
confident.
make it.
Yeah.
It's something I think people don't understand about me. I think because I've been on the scene for so long and I'm quite loud. Like, I'm quite shy at times. Like, I have to build up my confidence to talk to somebody I don't know.
Yeah.
Which is, running events not always ideal, because I get like a bit stressed out about the idea of having to like talk to people I don't know. And that's where having like friends that can do that side of things is super, super helpful as well. But it's like, I will often be the one in a group that will take a slight step back when somebody new enters the chat, because I'm like, I want to understand who you are, and I'll wait for something that I can interject to. I'm not going to be the one to walk around the bar being like, hey stranger, come join us. Some of my friends are like that. And I've met some really good friends that way.
Yeah.
And everyone's got their own little frequencies, right? And their own ways of doing things. And it's like, you just have to work out your people.
It's why I think it's bringing up like the daytime events and quieter events and stuff like that for different people and different vibes. So they have then, because like, it's easier to go to a club with people you know than it is to go solo. Yeah. So if you've met people at a ball game night, last month, you can meet them at the club that night. And then, so it is definitely, we need to widen the spectrum of events that are available. It's definitely something worth thinking on. If I were here, would I host one? I'd make people host one. I'd nag people to host something like it. Yeah. But you could come around mine, but you'd have to meet my mother.
And she's into water sports.
Yeah. Not my thing.
She'll never see this, so it's fine.
I'm conscious we're coming up to the end of the episode, so I've got a few quick fire questions for you.
Go for it.
The first one being, what would you say is your proudest achievement in the kink space? And I kind of have a feeling I might know an answer, but what would you say is?
Without being too like inspirational therapist about it, my own confidence and my own sort of perception of my self-image and self-worth is probably my biggest achievement.
No, definitely, yeah.
Like, run events, that's always great. I remember in London, amazing, like, whatever. But the fact that I can look back at the incredibly insecure young guy that I was when I joined the scene, that hated his body, felt uncomfortable, didn't see a space for him, like, is a different person to who I am now. I'm confident, I'm not shy at sharing my voice. Like, I like to champion for the curvy girl in rubber. Like, but most of all, I know who I am now. And I know that I'm a good person, and I know that I've got like love to share, and I know that I'm like, I care about this community and all these things that like 21-year-old James would not recognize.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest achievement.
It was the first thing I noticed when I met you, was that confidence, the unapologeticness about who you are. Yeah. And I think that's what I found most attractive about you as a person, like underneath all of the rubber and all that. I think it's just you knowing that you are amazing, sexy, beautiful, all of that. So
stop it. There's that famous quote, I can't remember who it's by, so I'm not going to try and remember. Where it's like, always be yourself because everybody else is already taken.
Yeah, wasn't that like, RuPaul?
No, it was somebody else, but RuPaul said it as well, I think. Yeah. But like, that super resonates because it's like, you can only be yourself. Yeah. And as soon as you are yourself, you'll feel things click. Yeah. Like, I used to do that whole like Regina George mean girl shit. Like, a lot of gays do that affected thing of like, I'm just going to be bitchy because it's a defense wall. I don't do that as much anymore. I'm still funny, obviously. Like, but it's like, and I can still think of a quickie little witty read, but it's like, I don't try not to do that anymore because it's like, I want to be authentic because I feel like
the way I always try and play with like strangers and new people, I am nice. I'm not nice to my friends. I'm always kind.
Yeah.
But I'm not nice.
Oh, I'm meanest to the people I love the most. Yeah,
because that's the joy. Because they know you don't mean it, so you can be a complete cunt. That's the joy.
Yeah.
But I don't have time for that. Like when I'm meeting someone new, like you also have to be giving and taking here. We have to be having a conversation. You're not just waiting for a way to put me down and wait for me to say something that you can pick. You know, there has to be give and take in it.
Well, I think as well, like a massive part of like learning to be myself as well is like learning to only kind of let in what like brings me peace and what brings me joy. If it doesn't serve me well, I don't want it, which is like a difficult thing sometimes in a public facing scene or public facing role in a scene, I suppose, because it's like I've got some amazing friends that have my back, love me dearly. I don't need loads more, honestly. I don't want a huge circle. I don't want to like have a million acquaintances. I've been there, done that, and it's not served me well. Like I want the people around me to like bring me joy and like serve me in a really good way.
Yeah.
So it's like I think sometimes I can maybe be a bit like at arm's length with strangers because I'm like, are you gonna bring drama into my life? I don't want that. I don't want that anymore. And it's like I've distanced myself from people in my life that I was close to because they have brought drama and I'm like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
Can we all just be peaceful and just like...
And you've created a space full of the things that you love, and obviously I think that comes with time. Like I'm the same as I've grown in this community. I know what I like, what I don't like, who I want to hang out with, and all that. And I think you start to shape the world into what you want to see. So I think that's completely valid. So I think that's a good point to close out.
It's been great fun having you, James. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been lovely.
We are rubberroom.media on Instagram. I am Rubber Romeo.
I am Rubber Cable.
And I'm James Jrubbercub.
And...
Oh, Jrubbercub on social media.
No! Full cover, man. The thing we care about. The thing we want to promote.
Yeah, you're already here for that.
And I run Full Cover. I run Full Cover at Company Bar, which is Full Cover MCR on Instagram.
Wonderful. We'll see you all next time. Thank you for joining us. And that is that.
Thanks so much for joining. We'll see you on the flip side.
Goodbye.